So, Sean, as you can probably see, I was at the hairdresser's the other day.
Was that a long visit?
No, it doesn't take as long as it used to. In fact, the worst thing is that my appointment is now allocated for 15 minutes. Whereas back in the day, it was a good half an hour. It was a good half an hour.
Yeah.
But have you noticed everything's by appointment now? You can't.
Can't
I don't
just
know whether you
roll
get.
in.
There's an app.
What sort of hairdressers do you go to a barber's then, or do you go somewhere that's?
Well, it is a barber's, mainly gents, although I'm sure they do the odd cut. It's gentlemen. There's the senior citizens cut. There's the haircut, and there's the kids cuts. But yeah,
Right. They don't do women hair then.
I don't think
well.
so. I don't
No.
think so. And yeah, you book on an app. We don't have to.
Hmm.
When I'm there, the number of people who come in go, any appointments? And the lady goes, no, book on the app. Any appointments? No.
Oh, crikey. Well, you've got a posh one there, because I don't. I still got the one with the old thing that goes around outside, the old twirly gig.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, the red and white thing?
Yeah.
Really?
There's in town. Yeah, it's a Turkish barber's.
Okay.
Which is pros and cons, really, because obviously they burn your ears and stuff up your nose as well, so that burn all the hair off. Yeah. Have you never been to a Turkish barber?
No.
Have you
No.
been? No. They do. They say that methylated spirits they put onto this sort of stick thing and then flick it in your ear, and that's meant to take out all the hairs in your ears. And then
does it work?
Do something. Well, I can't see in my ears, so I don't really know. But I presume you can smell like burning hair.
But well, no, this is important. So when you've had it, does it hurt as they're doing it?
No, you just get quite a warm sensation.
Yeah. Did you say methylated spirits?
Yeah, I think it's well.
Well, you're used to that, aren't you, at home? Come around 7.
Well, I told Jude not to drink so much, but she I can't bring anything in for the lamps anymore. But yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't hurt. It's a bit like, do you remember as a kid where you used to run your hand over a lighted? Have you done that before in the past? Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I know it's a long while back. When they used to light the street lamps around your neck of the woods. But
okay.
So you were at the barber's, yeah? What?
Yes. Anyway, it just struck me. I thought, if you were a barber or a hairdresser, whatever you want to call it, and in the case of my barbers, where I guess the average time in the chair is 15, 20 minutes, right? So you must get through, I don't know, 30 people a day, 25 people a day, something like that.
Assuming you're booked up. Yeah.
Assuming booked up. The art of conversation. So how motivated are you as the hairdresser, and how do you go about it? So I wanted to ask you then, imagine you're now this hairdresser. What would be, you're looking terrified. What would be your opening line? So you've got the customer in front of you, or client, I think you're called, actually.
Yeah.
What's the sort of thing you would like to ask? Male or female, it doesn't matter.
Well, it does. That's the thing, isn't it? It's quite important as to whether you've got a male or female in front of you.
Okay.
I would suggest, although you'd judge what type of male or female that you've got in front of you, but you, generally speaking, I guess, if you were cutting the hair of a woman, I think you'd probably say, how's your day been? What have you been up to? Or, what do you, unless there's something distinct about that woman that you think, well, that, if she's wearing a football shirt or what have you, then you might say to her, how are the Rovers getting on, or what have you, or, if she were wearing a football shirt.
I can see you're a natural. So how was your day? How are Rovers getting on?
If she's wearing a football shirt, that's what I said.
She's wearing a football shirt. Okay.
What I'm saying is, you adapt what conversation you bring in. You bring in the conversation based upon your observations, don't you? Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you if somebody came in, I don't know, they were wearing say today, we're recording, aren't we, on St. George's Day?
Oh, yes.
And a gent came in, and he was wearing a red rose in his buttonhole or what have you.
Yeah.
Would you not make comment about that and say, that's very smart? Why are you wearing that? Or do you this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you might. So basically, you're inclined to look at the client's attire and
Part of
ask a
it.
question related to that. Yeah, that'd be your
Part of it.
strategy,
Yeah, I think so.
or a
Yeah.
general "How was your day?" Okay.
It
Yeah.
depends again who you, because if you've got a gentleman of a certain age, then how was your day is a good opening line, isn't it? But if you've got a 20-year-old who's dressed as a punk or what have you, how was your day sounds a bit pompous, doesn't it?
Well, you're
Really?
just not interested in their day, are they? If
No,
they're young.
just maybe just might ask them something different. Something more akin to. Do you like music, or are you into music, or that? Would you not? Would you not? I mean,
No, no.
you're an old schmoozer. I'm going to put the question back because when you were working the room, as you used to, a gin and tonic in one hand and an olive in the other, how would you introduce yourself to? Clearly, if they're members of the same fraternity, the banking fraternity, you've got
What you
something in
mean in
common.
like a networking gig?
Networking meeting. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you don't know the person. Yeah.
No.
Well, in all honesty, one technique I used to use, because it is actually quite nerve wracking when you walk into a room, whether it's social or business or whatever,
Mm,
and you either stand in the corner and look like an idiot, or you
mm.
go and you going up to people. And I've done this with individuals or groups. I'd literally go up and I'd say, it's a high risk strategy. I'd say, do you mind if I introduce myself?
That
And,
bold.
oh yeah.
That
Well,
bold. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
do you mind if I introduce myself? And I can promise you, no one's ever said, no,
No.
clear off. They might have been thinking, no,
Yeah.
clear off. And then I would just say, well, my name's Guy, blah, blah, blah. And you are, it's the old, you are, with
Well,
pregnant pause.
well, that's because that was. I would
Is
have
that helpful?
expected you to. I would have expected you to do that the other way around. I was expecting you to say you'd wander up to somebody and say, "Who are you?" And the retort might be, "Mind your bloody business." But
Who are
I would have
you?
thought, yeah. Or if
So
you've
we
got,
had,
if they're
are you a
wearing
Rovers fan? Who are you?
If they're wearing a badge, you've got
Yeah,
their name, I suppose. If they're wearing a
yeah,
badge, you must be Fred or what have you. And
yeah.
what do you do? That
Well,
sounds like
that's
the Queen, doesn't it?
the,
Exactly what do you do
what
for a
is,
living? Well,
what is, she's moved on now.
no, I talk about the new one. We've got another one, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Queen
I
Camilla.
still, do you ever get, I always find it difficult to think of Camilla as the Queen. It should always be
Yeah,
Camilla Parker
yeah,
Bowles to me.
yeah,
But
absolutely. I
it's
agree
just
with
one
you.
of those things. But yeah, so the art of conversation, I think in some ways, when you don't know the person, it's actually easier
Mm,
because the landscape is completely open to you, isn't it? You
yeah,
haven't got to remember a previous conversation. It's not narrow because you know their field of interest. You can go wherever you like.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I think in a networking gig, the safest way is to concentrate on work. Who are you with? Who invited you here today? Anything you're particularly interested in today? I
Anything you
don't.
could.
The 3:30 at Kempton. Oh, okay.
I'm going back to your scenario in the hairdressers or the
Hairdressing.
barbers,
Yeah.
as I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I've got the Turkish barbers down in town, not so much. But when I used to go to the other barbers, you remember there was one in Portland Road in Hove, wasn't there? One, like Cage Brothers. When I used to go
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
they were all Italians, if I remember rightly, at that particular point.
Can I just mention, those were in the days where in the shop front, they had these fantastic pictures of people, beautiful haircuts,
Beautiful,
fantastic.
yeah, big.
And you go, can I have the third one on the right? Absolutely, sir. And you come out, you look nothing like it.
Look,
Nothing like it.
you always looked exactly the same when you came out, regardless of what you chose. No, he was in there from the conversation. I would have said that with men, especially,
Yeah.
if on occasion, my opening conversation is generally about football. Did you see the football over the weekend, or do you watch the? It's unfortunate if you come across somebody who's not interested in football, because then
Yeah.
you've got to, maybe there's, well, it's an opening, isn't it? Because then they say, "Well, I'm not really interested in football." You could then go on and say, "Do you follow any
Well,
sport?
you should be.
Do you follow the Rovers?"
No, I just wear their
Yeah.
T-shirt when I go for a haircut.
But I think that's an opening gambit. But you wouldn't. There's some conversations you wouldn't stray onto, would you? You wouldn't talk about politics, would you? For straight away.
Not unless the client offered it. I
No.
think if they open it up and say, "Oh, I'm going to watch the Ollie Robertson interview," and you know who the hell
But
that is, you
but
might
then
talk about
you've
it.
had conversation. I've had conversation, and you've had then both parties hedge around, don't they? They're trying to find out. I don't want to say anything that's going to affect. It was an interesting piece of television. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. I thought he came across as quite interesting, wasn't he? Really, you wouldn't commit to one political
Well,
viewpoint or the
you and
other,
I
would you?
wouldn't, but I know a few people who are so brazen they just come out with it.
Do you think they
But
go straight? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but the technique when I had my visit, the technique the lady used on me was a very simple question: "Have you got much on today?"
right.
Yeah, and I don't mean a sweater, a
Not
t-shirt, a
physically.
pair of
Yeah,
jeans.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, and that's an opening. What you've got to make sure of, now I know that's coming. If I go back to it again, you've got to make sure that you sound remotely interesting, rather than no, no.
Did you have anything on?
Luckily, yeah, we were going out to lunch with some friends, so I was able to talk about that for a nanosecond.
Oh,
And then off you go because where's that? Have you been there? And all that sort of stuff. Two-way conversation.
and did she have anything to offer up? Did she offer anything into the conversation with you?
She said, "Yeah, I'm a Rovers supporter." Yeah, she talked about her family, what her husband did for a living. She was very pleasant, but I guess these, apart from being good at hairdressing, they're very
Mm.
highly skilled social animals, aren't they?
Mm,
Because you have to be. You do see it sometimes, don't you, where maybe the person before you has not said a word
mm.
and their haircut is done in complete silence. And I suppose that's fine too. But
I
anyway,
get
it
that.
just struck me. Sorry. Oh,
I can say I get that. And it's one of the reasons I go to the Turkish barbers because they
yeah.
start a conversation, but then if you try and respond, 9 times out of 10, the language is lost. So you can just sit there in silence and get your
So
hair
you
cut
just sit there
instead.
and wait for
Yeah,
people to put sticks up your nose,
yeah.
and you enjoy 15
Well,
minutes of
you know it.
silence.
You know it's over then. That's when you finish, when they
Yeah,
sticks up your nose
yeah.
and burn your
Whereas as long as
ears.
it doesn't go anywhere else other than your nose, then that's fine, isn't it? But look, so anyway, I thought we'd have a little insight session to the art of conversation. But obviously, there's more to talk about here. No pun
Mm.
intended.